Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahabushai, Bahasham, Barakahakodash, Barakatum. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, glory, and infinite honors to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahabushai. Double honors to the apostles and elders, a great millstone who rule and teach well. In peace and salutations to you sincere Akim out there, pushing this word in truth and sincerity to the four corners of the globe. May you brothers endure until the end. This is the brother Ra'aya with another video, and I'm going to start it off in Joel chapter 2 verse 20. But I will remove far off from you the Northern Army, the North American Army, the United States military, all branches, the Army, the Navy, the Marines, the Air Force, etc., etc., and will drive him into a land barren and desolate, the Middle East, more specifically Saudi Arabia, which is going to be the main staging ground for the battle in the Valley of Jehoshaphat, the War of Armageddon, with his face toward the East Sea. And when we go to a map of the Middle East, we've got Saudi Arabia right here, and towards the east, what do you have? The Persian Gulf. And what's above the Persian Gulf? Iran, the main target of the United States of America and the state of Israel in that Middle Eastern region. And to the northeast, you've got the Tigris and Euphrates River. And his hinder part, or behind him, the utmost sea, the Red Sea. And his stink shall come up, and his ill savor shall come up, because he had done great things. And to the U.S. military personnel that find themselves in the Middle East, that land barren and desolate, in the Valley of Jehoshaphat, during the battle in the Valley of Jehoshaphat, and you better come to terms with that being your final resting place, and not just the United States of America, but all other heathen military forces that are going to be gathered down into the Valley of Jehoshaphat. And no matter what you hear in the news about the U.S. taking troops out of Syria or Iraq, or moving troops around, or taking military hardware out of Saudi Arabia, it's biblical prophecy for that Northern Army, the United States military, to be in that Middle Eastern region for the battle in the Valley of Jehoshaphat. So things are constantly going to come up to keep the U.S. military tied into the Middle East. And I opened this video with this precept to preface an article to show that fact. This is an article from CBSNews.com. U.S., the Northern Army, sending warship jets to help protect Arab allies from missile and drone attacks by Yemen's Iran-backed Houthi rebels. Dubai. The United States will send a warship and fighter jets to help defend the United Arab Emirates. And when we go back to that map of the Middle East, where is the United Arab Emirates? Right here. It's landlocked to Saudi Arabia and on that East Sea. And what's above it? Iran. The United States will send a warship and fighter jets to help defend the United Arab Emirates, officials said on Wednesday, after a series of missile attacks by Yemeni rebels that left 3 dead in the wealthy Gulf state. The deployment to assist the UAE against the current threat follows a phone call between Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin and Abu Dhabi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan. The U.S. Embassy in the UAE said. The UAE, a major financial hub that is part of the Saudi-led coalition fighting Yemen's Iran-backed Houthi rebels, suffered its 3rd missile attack in as many consecutive weeks on Monday. As part of the new arrangements, the USS Cole guided missile destroyer will partner with the UAE Navy and make a port call in Abu Dhabi, while the U.S. will also deploy 5th-generation warplanes. Other actions include continuing to provide warning, intelligence, and collaborating on air defense, the embassy said. And I will remove far off from you the Northern Army to that land barren and desolate. The USS Cole, currently in port in Bahrain, was hit by an al-Qaeda bombing in the Yemeni port of Aden in October 2000 that killed 17 sailors. Austin and the Crown Prince discussed the recent Houthi attacks against the UAE that caused civilian casualties and also threatened U.S. and Emirati armed forces stationed at Al Dhafra Air Base, the embassy added. The rebel attacks on the UAE have added a new dimension to Yemen's 7-year war, which has killed hundreds of thousands of people directly or indirectly and displaced millions. 3 foreign workers were killed in a drone and missile assault targeting Abu Dhabi's oil facilities and airport on January 17th, triggering a salvo of deadly airstrikes in retaliation. On January 24th, U.S. forces stationed at Abu Dhabi's Al Dhafra Air Base fired Patriot interceptors and scrambled to bunkers as 2 ballistic missiles were shot down over the city. And on Monday, a 3rd missile attack was thwarted during a visit to the UAE by Israeli President Isaac Herzog. The U.S., a staunch Saudi and UAE ally, intends the deployment to be a clear signal that the United States stands with the UAE as a long-standing strategic partner, the embassy said. That's it with this article. Hey, but as you can see, situations in that Middle East are constantly taking place to keep the United States, that Northern Army, entangled in the Middle East, because it's all a part of biblical prophecy for that Northern Army to be removed to that land barren and desolate, along with these other heathen nations to fight in the Valley of Jehoshaphat during World War III. Now I'm going to go to Joel chapter 3. I'm going to start at verse 9. Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, the heathen Gentiles. That's exactly what the true men of the Lord, the prophets of the Most High, chiefly through GMS or Great Millstone, are doing by going out onto the highways and byways to preach this word, as well as putting up video epistles like this, proclaiming among the heathen Gentiles to prepare for war, World War III, the War of Armageddon, war with Iran, the battle in the Valley of Jehoshaphat. Wake up the mighty men, let all the men of war draw near, let them come up. U.S. sending warships and jets. Wake up the mighty men, let them draw near, let them come up. Beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong. Assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen. The United States of America, the State of Israel, Saudi Arabia, Russia, China, Iran, Turkey, Britain, France, Germany, Australia, etc., and gather yourselves together round about. Thither cause thy mighty ones to come down, O Yahweh, and the mighty ones are the death angels of the Most High, holding back this great destruction, waiting to get the go-ahead from the Most High to release it, which is going to happen after the Charagma, the MOTB, in Revelation chapter 13, verses 16 to 18 is mandatorily implemented, that MICROCHIPIMPLANT. Let the heathen be wakened and come up to the Valley of Jehoshaphat, or Yahweh Shaphat, which means Yahweh's judgment, for there will I sit to judge all the heathen round about. And when you go up to the first couple of verses in Joel chapter 3, you'll see why the Most High is gathering these heathen nations down into the Valley of Yahweh Shaphat, the Valley of Jehoshaphat, to judge them for afflicting the apple of his eye, the children of Israel, who are the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. And at the top of that list are you Edomites, especially in the United States of America, where that Northern Army is going to come from. Put ye in the sickle, for the harvest is ripe. Come get you down, for the press is full. The fats overflow, for their wickedness is great. Multitudes, multitudes in the valley of decision, for the day of Yahweh is near in the valley of decision. And if you've got that spiritual eyesight, you can clearly see that the day of Yahweh is very near in the valley of decision. all the end times prophecies that Yahushai Hamashiach, whom the world ignorantly refers to as so-called Jesus Christ, told his disciples to look for, are either taking place or in the process of taking place as we speak. So that's it with this video. And with this video, I hope you sincere Akim and Akwath were edified. Just keep strong. We're almost out of this final wicked captivity of the heathen nations, chiefly of the Edomites. And as always, I'm going to say Abad Babal, Kwam Yasharala, and until next time, Shalom.